How's it going, Luke? You just won your first tournament in not forever, not your last tournament you'll ever win, but how was your first tournament winning?
It was really fun. I've been doing a lot of prep for this because obviously the Pro Tour is next week. So it feels really good to kind of get the list in action and see it actually perform well. And it's also been a blast. I mean, everyone here is all the locals from California.
Right. How far did you travel to get here?
I drove like 7 hours or so, but I have family and friends up here that I'm like coming to see and stay with, and then I'll be heading to Vegas as an extension of the road trip. So it wasn't like the worst situation, but it was a long drive. Yeah.
We were talking about a lot of people that are going to go to ProQuest showed up, not ProQuest, Pro Tour showed up today with Jarl. It looks like that was the clear, here's the rock, and you went the other way. What's your thought on playing Oscilio when other people that play Wizard, Majin Bay said, I'll play Jarl, why are you still sticking with Oscilio?
Yeah, so I have a local, shout out John Kim. He is like a consistent local. I see him every week. And this is like a pretty much his list that he's been cooking up for a while. And he went 4-0 the last like month of Armories. And I'm like, was kind of struggling to pick a deck. And so I just like talked to him about it for a while. And he like really kind of sold me on it because yeah, it finds a really good niche of, like you're saying, there's going to be like these people that they know this meta's aggro.
Right.
They're bringing in these slower decks, these more block-heavy decks like Jarl, and it can get through that with Arcane. But then it also has Stormstriders into decks that are like not even preventing AB, presenting AB, and it also can just go crazy into them, right? Like
0 AB, you just kill them.
Yeah, like a 5 just tries to kill you, and you like Aether Flare for 6 into something else for like 9. And you're just like, yeah, that does half your life total. So it kind of fits both builds, which is something I like.
You're saying like 9. Let's get some like concrete. What is the most damage you've done arcane-wise on a turn with this deck so far?
To Natalie, in one of our games that we played, I believe I killed her while she was at 21.
Cool.
Because it was, I forget how much amp exactly, but it was basically Aether Flare on my turn, Stormstrider's second Aether Flare into like a snapback, and it just did like entire life total.
You pitched a Strike Twice, which is what I thought you were going to play, but you pitched it to play Snapback. What's the difference between Snapback and Strike Twice? I know it feels like they're pretty much the same, but there is different text on them.
Yeah.
What can we avoid to not fall into a trap with those two cards?
So, yeah, they feel very similar, but they honestly have very different situations where they feel good. I knew that like my Stormstriders was limited, right? And so I know that on his turn I'm not getting off a snapback because that's the only real way to play a non-attack action. But there are instant ways to deal Arcane, like Echo Flash and all of the like Starfall.
Right.
So that's just kind of the consideration is it's something that can extend your turn on their turn, whereas snapback at that point is only for your turn. Because like, yeah, I mean, Stormstriders, like even if he didn't send the Mangle, I still just internally, you know, like he puts a counter on it for a reason. That thing is not surviving for the rest of the game.
True.
Like, so yeah, you just kind of see when each one could be played and kind of think about your options with it towards the end game, right? Because if we actually get to the bottom of that deck, it's going to be pretty rough pickings at the end.
I was very impressed because it seemed like you played 4 5 damage spells in 2 turns, and that was the Aether Sling turns. There's no questions here. It's more just impressive. I've played decks like this, and I've tried to maybe do not Chain Lightning. That one's not worth it, but Sonic Boom off the top.
Yeah.
But maybe Sonic Boom quite doesn't work because you have way more instances in your list. I think the instant that I was excited to see that I haven't seen in lists like this is Kindle, and that feels like a secret.
I love that card.
It seems like my opponent knows what they're doing. Because it's not easy to play, and it's going to be like you getting around that channel was insane. What does Kindle do for this deck?
Yeah, so again, I mean, I have to shout out John Kim again because like this list is his hard work.
This is Prism John Kim.
Yes, Prism John Kim.
Cool. There's 2 in SoCal.
Yeah.
I played the Assassin Brute John Kim more than Prism John Kim.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that John Kim was very devastated with Prism LLing and kind of trying to find a new home, and so this is kind of where he cooked up a lot. And Kindle was like that. I love that card, but I have to give him credit that that's like his like prize baby of a card where you're like, I love playing this card.
Yeah.
Because it just unlocks so many turns. I think it's way more versatile than people ever give it credit for, because even when it just amps 1 and you already have cards in hand, like if you're amping 1 on an Aether Flare and now it's coming in for 6, like that's really relevant. And there's just like amazing little lines that it can really find your way into. The fact that you don't have to discard to Oscilio to then still get like good value out of the weapon is really relevant. Like pitch into a 2-cost spell, play Kindle, you're gonna amp off of the weapon and draw a card. So now you just did like 3 cards that are worth 7-ish arcane, depending on which spell, and then now you also get an arsenal, which is like, I mean, that's kind of crazy. That's almost a 2-card 7 in arcane, which is like ridiculous. So
a lot of these Omen cards, we were kind of, this was said on the broadcast, I think it's fun to say again, of like, Omen feels like, is this the best set ever? Not quite, but maybe whenever they're saying in the BNR, was that maybe a thought process for you of, our initial designs were, this is not an Oscilio, the 38 health one. This is not an Oscilio you should care about. We designed these new cards for the old Oscilio, and it's a new branching path. I know the new one's called Forked Continuum, but this is literally like a fork flowchart somewhere else.
Yeah.
Of, hey, I don't know if you're winning half the battle because maybe you don't want people to know that do not play physical blocking equipment against me because you didn't play a single attack.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big thing. I mean, I was saying that going into this, I'm not going to play a deck that if like my opponent knows what it does, I'm going to lose. Like, I mean, even in the finals, like he knew that I was on Spell Oscilio, but it doesn't mean that I'm just like dead in the water because of it.
AB5 is different.
It is very true though,
and
yeah.
It sucks when people know, and your locals are going to start playing AB5.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Oasis.
I think like
and everything, and it's
it just comes down to, as soon as you flip that up, like you just have to play it different. Like you can't just swing 5 or 6 arcane at a hero that has AB4, AB5 and think like, it's whatever. Like you got to be really careful. I think there's some good cards that can kind of also help with that type of like end game if you're going towards that fatigue state. So I think, I mean, like you're saying, some of these new cards, I was super excited for Omens. I was a big fan of Aurora. I was super excited for Lightning coming back. I thought Ziggy looked super cool. And like kind of like a lot of people, initial testing, it's like, there seems like there's some room to grow.
This has
or things
been
to
dripped
desire.
right now.
But
I want the full hose.
Yeah, like what you're saying, these cards in Oscilio 1 feel kind of crazy. Like, was it Meteoric Impact, I believe? Yeah, the 1 for 5.
That's disgusting. That is so. You're not supposed to be on rate. It's supposed to be 1 for 3 damage.
Yeah.
Or 0 for 3, 1 for 4, whatever. Now it's 1 for 5. That is the extra point of damage. It feels like you're amping on top of it.
So relevant. Like, and all the ponders too. The turn to Mindfire is. I've had a lot of games where, like in aggro when I'm running D-Reacts and stuff, people are like, "Wow, like you drew so many D-Reacts, it feels like, like unlucky." But you churn through so many cards. You can see like 8 to 9 cards on one turn cycle, which is like ridiculous. So you're like,
you can use your hero power. There wasn't tapping back then.
Yeah, so you can use your power on both turns. You have things like Kindle, you have like Sync Belows and Fate for Scenes to like help dig through cards. So it's like you can find what you need fast, and that feels really strong in a wizard where like, Kano, I feel like back in the OG days, that was one of the big things was like with pitch stacking, you had to be like very smart and very careful, and like it would take time to do that. And Oscilio is almost the opposite, where you're just like, if I pitch this, like I could probably find it if this game goes long. Like I will get to the bottom half of this deck.
Truly.
So yeah, I don't know. All the new cards are super standout.
I feel like we could do some quick lightning round of cards that I would want to play. Fork Lightning, never gonna work, or
Fork Lightning.
Guess what,
so
guys?
cool.
I'm gonna do it, and it's a secret one of.
I mean,
somewhere.
I feel like maybe if the rules of the card get changed for like the 5th time, like we could find a way.
Because Aether Flare works on it, and Aether Flare is the thing that unlocks, but none of your other amps work. Your arms work on it.
Yeah.
So
I think, I don't know, that card has undergone like surgery to make it work. but it is very cool.
Fork Lightning is my favorite.
Yeah, I think if Amp
Wizard card
worked
by
on Fork
far.
Lightning, it would probably be disgusting, specifically with like that combo, people are talking about with like the arm
The
piece.
Sigil Fates or whatever.
But Fork Lightning is very cool. There's a lot of cool Wizard cards.
The final piece that I think is instant, I don't remember its name. We're going to pay 2. We're going to shoot you for 3, and it's an instant. It's red.
Oh, yes, the Flashbolt.
Flashbolt.
Yeah,
That
card.
seems not broken, but we're not caring about. Usually it's I got to use an action point, and I don't have action points on my opponent's turn unless I use Striders.
Yes.
Now I'm just paying a really shitty rate.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is YouTube. Really shitty fucking rate, but you're paying 2 to do 3 damage, and that's so bad because most of the time you can AB that quickly. But it's somebody's gonna swing a big ass hammer, use all their resources. Now you can 2 for 3 them.
Yeah, that card is actually one of the cards that's probably in, the like 85th, 84th slot of like your deck that it's just not making the cut a little bit. I mean, if someone like put that in, I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I think it is the big thing that it really shines towards like later game states, but like in the early game, like you're saying, the rate
You're
is
gonna
just so
draw
bad.
early. Yeah.
But it is an instant, so you can just discard it. But you also need to be careful, like what density of spells you're discarding, right? So,
Just not good enough. Okay.
I mean, like it's right there, and I honestly like with more testing wouldn't be shocked if it made it in. Like it is.
Gotcha.
I mean, like you're saying, and even with like strike twice, right? Like you pitch a blue, you plus thing that, and strike twice. That's 6 arcane on their turn with no Striders. Like
Right.
that is really strong. So
One question too that's gonna happen immediately when people see your list: is there Sphinx in it?
no.
One. Anything more than no, or is that something where it's like y'all play Sphinx and play it wrong? But at one point you had 3 ponders.
Yeah, that
And that screams, oh, Sphinx would be really cool right now.
Yeah, Sphinx is very interesting. I would be very curious to try it out more. I think the big thing is like on average, you're not making that many ponders.
Right.
You're hopefully only making really 1. And just getting the extra ponder into Arsenal is usually like good enough.
Yeah.
And
You
the
also
cost.
get to pick. That's kind of nice when you have
Yeah.
3 ponders. Like it's I'm choosing instead of what's on top.
Yeah, and it's also just, I mean, it is a resource to draw a card, which is obviously very strong, but it's usually a little more like demanding to do something like that. And I do really enjoy that with this type of list. Like you can kind of do that block 6, swing 5, arcane, block 6, swing 5, arcane. So I think there's that. And I also just think the other headpieces are very versatile. I mean, I've definitely had games where I need like that 1 blue, and so I'm like, I guess I just block with crown this turn, and like I need to try and dig.
This red instant, I can discard it for my hero power.
Yeah.
I can crown it. I can sink to grab 1.
Yeah.
You do have way more access to way more cards to keep digging.
Yeah, and balance
Which
is
is
also
very
like
cool.
the matchup's balance is good into can just be like game winning. I had a game against like a Psy, I believe. I had like 6 cards in hand because I think it was, or like I said like Arsenal and then like 5 cards in hand because I got to balance because they like, needed to draw an extra card to make their turn happen. So like I think when balance is good, it's probably the best in slot for like the certain matchups. And then when crown is good, it's super helpful. So again, I think Sphinx is one of those things where it's very interesting to test with and kind of just see if it actually feels like it's worth it. Because I mean, yeah, drawing a card is very strong, but
One thing,
I don't know.
as a brute player that does intimidate mess with your. I like having intimidate battles with wizards.
yeah,
Does the word intimidate scare you? Does the word heart of ice scare you? Or if I
Yeah.
have to go right away, I can still get my 5/6 arcane in and block whatever you got for me.
yeah. Heart of Ice is, I mean, you just have to be really careful. Like there's turns it can kind of disrupt, but on average, you're not that scared if you have to like do something in response to Heart of Ice, because like Jarls typically aren't doing like the craziest biggest turns. Like if you do something in response and then they like CNC pummel you, you're like, sucks.
Yeah,
Intimidate though, Intimidate's
I'm
not
excited. Some of these decks that are getting good are soft to intimidate. So
Yeah.
let's get this list out. Let's get my locals on this.
I
And I'll
mean,
intimidate them 3 times.
fun.
It'll be
Intimidate's
great.
really scary when half your hand already doesn't block. And like they hit like your one D react, and now you're like, this hand blocks 3.
Right.
And like, so Intimidate is really scary, specifically as well because like Rhinar can kind of go into like a Blood Rush turn and force you to be like Stormstriders right now. Otherwise, like you're gonna die.
And there's no real spell disruption happening
Yeah. So like,
because you're not doing Mind Warp.
yeah, Mind Warp's cool, but
Okay. He's putting it back in for Pro Tour.
like I don't know.
He's not putting it in for Pro Tour. You've heard it
Like
here
you're amping
first.
like once or twice on average. That's like the highest you'll get. I think most decks, even if they're a little more aggressive, usually have like AB 1 at a minimum. So it's like, I don't know, it feels so bad to like play a Mind Warp and they're just like, yeah, AB, and you're like, yeah, cool.
True. You got me.
But again, I don't know. I think that maybe board on Faberé is like over double the actual deck. So there's random wizard cards that are just like, this could be really good. I don't really know. Let's try it for a while and like,
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I keep losing when I play this, take it out, and then I'm never going to get Forked Lightning off. I have to take this out. Because I played an all arcane Verdance list, and for some reason people still ran AB4 into regular Verdance, and I was like, how are you guys doing this? I just want a Sonic Boom into Light Up the Leaves. Please, God, leave me alone.
Yeah, I think if you want to go the route of going full combo and Sigil of Fates, pop, Forked Lightning, they will probably just die if you can get that off. So I don't want to crush your dreams. I think it is possible.
Right.
Shoot for the stars. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, and then start fall, bro, into a win at Tommy B 5Ks. Oh my God, that's the #1 hit. He just opened up a gym pack. That was crazy.
Bros.
Luke Gilmore, you won, but you're gonna win next week too.
Yeah.
What are you gonna spend the 50 grand on?
If I win the Pro Tour big, I'm definitely going to Worlds with my girlfriend. She's been really wanting to go to Paris.
The city of love.
I just got the PTI today, so now I could actually go. And then probably everything else goes back into student loans.
Great. You don't have to do that.
That's what
They're
everyone
not gonna know that you have the money.
So that's what
Usually the first tournament is the one that takes you the longest to win, and then you're here and you know how to do it, so you just keep doing it.
Yeah, AGE, I do have to get a shout out to my locals down there. I was
Nice.
kind of thrown into the gauntlet, so
Great.
I mean my locals have pro team members, so you got to get good or you're kind of cooked. So
I play against Colin Erickson every Tuesday, so
yeah,
thanks a lot for nothing. Thanks for coming. Thanks for winning. Thanks for talking afterwards.
Yeah,
and
it's been super great.
Enjoy your new life.
Yeah, yep. Changed person, cut off all the old friends,
Right. Hell yeah.
Last question.
Cheers.
When are you declining your invite to the AGE Pro team?
I don't know, bro.
You're on the Gigabo now.
You guys have to have a custody battle.
Team Rage Baiters.
You have Tommy versus Anthony
North Mile
Pham.
Boogers. I can't
And
believe you
Anthony
didn't put us
Pham
against each
drove
other.
away.
You would split it.